One last point. And we've had this conversation in the past because there's never a bright line between the extent to which a quarterback is fully dialed into the offseason program in April, May, and June and winning or losing football games.
Right.
It's too far removed. It's impossible to say, wait a minute, that throw that was made, that read that was missed, that thing that happened, the seeds for that were planted in the fact that the quarterback was only present for half of the OTAs. It's impossible to trace that back. But we know the importance of a fast start. And with Rodgers, because he's never played for the Steelers before, preparation or lack thereof, full preparation or lack thereof, is going to be a little more glaring. And when you look at the schedule, and Peter, I'm sure that you were ready to go with your popcorn and your IPA watching the schedule release a couple of weeks ago. But you look at the Steelers' schedule right out of the gates. Where are they? At the New York Jets. That's a winnable game for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it carries other wrinkles given where Rodgers played last year. Then they have the Seahawks at home. That's a winnable game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Then they're at the New England Patriots. That's a winnable game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Before they go to Dublin, week 4, to face the Vikings, the Steelers, when they get on the plane to fly across the Atlantic Ocean, should be 3-0. And if they're not, you're going to have people in Pittsburgh saying, if Rodgers just would have been here for the OTAs, if Rodgers just would have been here for the mandatory minicamp, and again, he may be. Maybe he'll sign today for all we know. But that gives meat, raw, juicy meat to the people who will say, hell, we're already in a hole. We're 2-1. We're 1-2. God forbid we're 0-3 because Rodgers wasn't ready to go. And I think that's a concern that at some level, at some point, the Steelers and Rodgers need to have.
I think you're right about that, Mike. But look, those are things, and I agree with you. Look, if Aaron Rodgers maybe has 4 or 5 sessions at some private field in Butte, California, or Berkeley, California, wherever, with Pat Freiermuth, with DK Metcalf, with the Steelers receiving core, which, and I have no idea if he will do it or not. I think I saw some video of him throwing to DK Metcalf at one point. But I think that is either as important or it's almost as important as him being there, because he needs to get chemistry with those receivers. So I think that is as important as anything else. And I would expect that he's going to do some of that if he has definitely determined that he's going to play with the Steelers.
He's big on trusting his receivers, knowing where he can throw the ball, knowing how they catch the ball, how they adjust to it. His touchdown to interception ratio, and I've poked fun in the past that he values that like it actually matters, but my God, he has an incredible, I think it's 503 to 116. It is obscene how many touchdown passes he's thrown as opposed to how many mistakes he's made by way of throwing interceptions. He needs to know those receivers. He needs to have the comfort level. And he was at UCLA throwing with DK Metcalf. He explained it, I think, when he was on with McAfee, kind of a happenstance thing. But they've already begun, and who knows how many more times they've done it. That just happened to be a time that somebody was there with their phone taking pictures of it. Peter, I think of fast starts and slow starts, and we've spent time this week dissecting the Bengals. And the Bengals last year had the Jamar Chase contract issue, and he didn't know until 90 minutes before kickoff he was even going to play week 1, and they lose to the Patriots, for crying out loud. They start 0-3, and by the end of the season, they're the hottest team in football. If they had gotten in, well, at least the hottest team in the AFC, if they'd gotten in, they would have done real damage, but they didn't get in. Why? Because they started 0-3. So I think that's the calculated risk. One of the various calculated risks the two sides are taking by not getting this relationship finalized and formalized and letting Aaron Rodgers come to Pittsburgh and learn about Latrobe and California University of Pennsylvania and Permanis and the Strip District and all the other awesome things about Pittsburgh.
And I think the other one final thing on Rodgers is, I think we know by now that Aaron Rodgers is as much as possible, is going to try to be his own boss. And he's always been that way, particularly midway in his career in Green Bay, and after that, he's been his own boss. A lot of people in the structure of football hate that. I understand it, but that's what you're dealing with. You can rail, you can yell at the clouds, you can do whatever you want to do. Doesn't matter. This is a story right now that Aaron Rodgers is going to control, at least until he walks in the building on the south side of Pittsburgh, walks into the Steelers building. And so I think everybody who loves the Steelers should basically, no pun intended, steel themselves to the fact that, okay, we're giving this year to Aaron Rodgers at quarterback unless something blows up. We're giving this year to him. Let's make the absolute best of it that we can.
Peter, to put it in a term that I used yesterday that was lost on Chris, but you will appreciate, in this relationship between Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers, Aaron Rodgers has hand.
Yes, he does.
He has so much hand, he's coming out of the glove.
And he's going to need it.
Now, when Darius Slay was saying things about the importance of being at the offseason programs, if he knows what's good for him, he wasn't referring to TJ Watt. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.